We don't want to spend our money with these people. We don't want to put our money in the hands of a system that's victimizing us. The problem, however, is people have this untethered anger that's very legitimate, that's boiling over, and they have no idea what to do with it. So to me, the problem is a lack of ownership in the black community. And I don't mean that in the politics of respectability way. I don't mean pull up our pants. I don't mean take the gold out of our mouth. I mean, we should have economic ownership of the things.
Okay, so listen, I want to be real clear. What he's saying, first of all, he said something that I really like. You said untethered anger, untethered anger, and a lack of economic development / ownership.
Not development, because we have development.
We have development.
Where that's led us. We need ownership.
Okay, so we need ownership of business.
Absolutely.
So economic ownership of business. Got it. Okay, what else? Did you have something?
Yeah, I agree with all of the things that are being said here, but I feel like the biggest problem in the black community is the division. And real quick, before I even get to that, what I was going to say to you is that you're right, the language does need to change, but the language won't change because we don't know our history. The majority of these kids don't know the impact of those words, and like they don't have knowledge of self. So, you know what I'm saying, there is no value for self. Like, the kids are killing each other for the same reason these white cops are killing each other. There's no value for black life. But my point was that the division comes with, like, gentlemen his age not dealing with gentlemen that are younger than me. I'm 30, like, there is no connection between men in his, I don't know, 50 or 60s and the guys that are 18 and 20 and 30. So, and then, like, he's gonna say that we're disrespectful. We're gonna say that they're disrespectful because they don't respect us. That is the problem in the black community.
Okay, so
there is a lot of energy with these young guys, and they have no direction because they have no wisdom.
Okay, so we talk about how an architect builds a structure. They start with a blueprint. So we identify, this really isn't a blueprint. What this is kind of identifying the land on which we need to build, right? So we basically said we need to build a structure on land that has this rock on it and this rock, it's this cliff and this. And so we're going to actually have to create a blueprint for a structure that either removes the rocks and or accommodates building off the side of a cliff and all these issues, okay? And so the way we begin to, I think, build a blueprint is folks start to think, number one, of themselves as local leaders, right? Rather than waiting for some leader to come, decide, I'm going to be that leader. And whatever issue you're passionate about, and I can just speak to it real quick just off here, but you're passionate about economic development, about business development within community. You're passionate about economic development, business development in the community. There's a politician who understands allocation of state, federal, local monies for development. You have a relationship with churches. You have a relationship with churches. You have a relationship with churches. Churches have money as well. So this is just 4 people who this young brother could decide he's going to take the leadership position of this new organization he's going to form, whatever you want to call it, and use the alliance or allegiance of older wisdom behind you and resources to help build what you're going to build. And then use your charisma and your leadership to reach out to other young folks that may be similarly interested in building something. And I would suggest that you make it a for-profit enterprise. We got plenty of nonprofits. We don't need another one. We need a for-profit enterprise that has a social entrepreneurship element. Because if you don't make money, you can't have sustainability. So we need you to build something that's sustainable. You know, the beautiful thing about Bill Gates is that he built a for-profit business, Microsoft, and now he has a $60 billion nonprofit. If he would have just started that as a nonprofit, it wouldn't have a $60 billion trust. So for-profit is important. You can provide more jobs that way, you can provide more opportunity, and you can begin to have more scalability. I was thinking to myself, it's easy to come to places when there's no problem, but do you show up when there's real issue, real problem? And so I wanted to be here, and I can't say thank you enough to you all for being here, because this is what it's about. The change isn't going to happen anywhere but right here amongst you all. It's local. It's local change. And if I can in some way facilitate conversation around that, and I'll tell you this, support it down the line, whether it's with my time, my energy, real dollars, if it's a good plan.
Tell us about that walkthrough.
The walkthrough today, it was, first of all, I was expecting to just kind of come and observe in a way and just see. But as soon as I got there, we met, the unofficial mayor. What is her name?
I can't. Is it Sharon?
Sharon, who lives right there in Canfield, right? So she immediately came up, gave me a big hug, and said, "We're gonna walk." And she basically talked, and she said things that she said that she didn't feel comfortable saying on camera to other people, talking to me about the day that happened. She was home, it was right there. And as we walked down, and she was describing to me how she was standing right there, and this young man is laying in the middle of the street, and an hour goes by. She said she saw his hand move. There's an ambulance up the road that they sent away. That's when your blood starts to heat up, right? Because if there was a police officer laying in the middle of that road, there would be 17 ambulances on site, a helicopter, a medevac. There would be complete triage. And you're talking about no medical services given to this young man. It starts to, and so the level of sadness and the level of healing to the earlier points about mental health, just the post-traumatic stress disorder that you receive being in the community, seeing a young man's body laying there on the hot pavement for hour after hour after hour has an impact on your psyche. Period. It has an impact on me, and he wasn't there, right? So it's something that again, the grief and the anger is so palpable.